Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Juan's in Fort Lauderdale, a family tradition since 1966.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defoe, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We have a little bit of a late lunch today, but that's okay because look at this lunch. I'm going to call it dinner because this table is full. We're at Juan's, formerly known as Juan's Mandarin House, but now just Juan's, 664 North Federal Highway, Fort Lauderdale. And look who we have. Defoe's in the house. If you send out Chinese food like any good Jew from New York, like me, they will come running.
He missed it last time. That's why.
Exactly. He was.
You know what happened though? I was watching on the screen, and I couldn't imagine not being here this time. And Lubie told me the post time was 2:30. I said, I don't care when it is, I'm coming. And you remember that commercial, Pilgrim? Your search is over.
Yeah.
Your search is over for the best Chinese food in town. This looks absolutely. I mean, it's spectacular what we have in front of us.
Well, this man in between us, Alex Cook, is a fourth generation now restaurateur, keeping the family traditions alive, and he is knocking it out of the park. It's so great.
Wow.
Alex Cook, first of all, thank you. Welcome back to the Lunchbox, and happy Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Nice.
May is
right.
AAPI month,
That's
and
right.
I think that's still allowed by law. There's no executive decisions.
That
or
may change
proper-
today after today's press conference.
Don't even want to
What-
get into that. But
Yeah.
how are you, sir?
I thought, all I thought we'd talk about is our mechanics on this and sports, right? That's
Jiffy Lube, yes.
There you go.
And,
Wow.
Thanks for having us back. Always
yeah.
great to be here.
and
You know,
there's so much food on this table. I am just astounded. Now, much to Defoe's chagrin, there is no mapo tofu.
You know what? No, I can pass on that. And it was delicious, by the way. Lubie brought it to me 2 days later, like in a bag that looked like it used to have like cocaine in it or something. And it's still it
secret
was
ingredient.
it was still fantastic. I loved every bite of it. And but this is beyond the scope of my wildest imagination, and I'm sure Mike Mayo, Mr. Chinese authenticity, has to be just overwhelmed. I mean, the whole fish presentation, this lobster thing, I'm stuck on these green beans. Those are the tastiest things I've ever had in my life.
Well, I think that last time we want to showcase Juan's and our family's tradition. The mapo tofus,
That was
the
great.
basics.
Egg foo young,
Yep,
which
the
I
egg
had never
foo young.
had before. Can you believe that?
Imagine
I'm
really?
59 years old, and I've
yeah,
never
you never
had an
had it.
egg foo young because that's in my mind, it's like too pedestrian for me. Like everybody has. I just like more of the exotic.
This is Mr.
dishes.
$1,000 dinner, the other night, but he still prefers Skyline Chili.
Yeah,
at
the
$10 a
$15
pop, yeah.
lunch was much better than the
But I
$1,000.
think that we want to showcase that we still do the classic Chinese well, and then now we want to, as you say, graduation season. We're graduating
to
to the
Wow.
next
you
level of
call
Chinese.
it authentic
Ooh.
or more. I don't know what you call it. The other one's authentic Chinese American.
Right.
Right.
This
And-
is elevated cuisine type of
Yes,
stuff. Though.
Yes, this is
really
also
looks great.
this is some stuff that's on the menu for a lot of vegetarians. We can make the eggplant or the string beans gluten free as well, but for the vegetarian, we have a lot of options as well. To highlight that. But then also we have a graduating to other authentic Chinese, where if you call us a few days ahead, we can get your lobster with ginger scallion, and we can do it in black
Oh,
bean sauce.
yeah.
And our fish, we can do it sweet and sour. We can also do it ginger scallion
Oh,
or
gorgeous.
spicy Szechuan style. So just want to showcase a
And
flex
this
our
looks
muscle
like-
a little bit.
A local snapper or
Yes, I mean
Okay.
it's off the coast. I mean that's the best thing about living on the peninsula. We have access to all this fresh fish.
Yes.
It's amazing.
So the thing about Alex is, a lot of that I guess family first came, it's like self-taught chefs and they work in the business, but you're actually a, highly educated. You went to the FIU Chaplain School of Hospitality.
Mhm.
And so that's why, we see some things that have maybe a little bit more of that elevated touches here.
Just a
right?
little bit, yes.
Yeah.
And I have to give credit a lot to our back of the house, our team. We've got some great chefs in the back. We've got some great front of house employees, and that's really what makes a restaurant. I can't take all the credit. I would not be what I am without our amazing team, the support of the family, my mom, Christina, my Uncle Jason. They've all retired, and now we call semi-retirement because they're all coming back to support and help and see the family, the friends, and help out. So.
And it's wonderful. And it's like the way I retired. After I left the paper, everybody said, "Congrats on your retirement, Mike." I was like, "Well, I don't know about that. I'm still gonna."
You got a long way to the wire,
I'm
so
just-
you
I'm
had to
done.
find something.
I'm done with the newspaper business. That's for sure.
Don't be afraid to send that rice
Oh,
over
we're
here
gonna
too.
send it
yeah.
all. And first of all, what do we have in the little bowls in front of us?
You have
'Cause
to get a plate for Lubie also.
I'm
I mean,
gonna-
Lubie's
Well, I'm
dying.
seeing if
of it.
Alex is eating that soup, because if not, then I
No,
want
okay,
this.
slide it over. This
Yep.
soup is not what's it's not on the menu. This is, of course, like you mentioned last time, every day 2:30, 3:30. We
They're
close.
right over
Why?
there.
Oh, there's staff.
right in the corner.
The
I could.
entire
Nice.
staff is over there.
If you could get the B-roll camera going, you can see
Yeah.
the whole staff is around
We'll
the table.
take
Yeah.
some here. Here's a plate. We'll take some for later on break. But that's our soup for today. It's not really to the public, but I just wanted to let you know what our soup is. There's every day we have some sort of bone soup that has some vegetables in there. Today is pork bone with Chinese dried bok choy.
Ooh.
Fantastic. This eggplant dish now, what would that be on the menu? Because absolutely amazing.
Eggplant and garlic sauce.
Phenomenal.
Slightly sauteed, a little spicy with the peppers and onions. But
Mike's
you
not
like
really an
spice, though.
eggplant guy, but that is so
You're not an
delicious.
eggplant guy?
No, he's misspeaking. I'm not a tofu guy, but I am an eggplant
Oh,
guy.
okay,
I
okay.
especially love the
I
Chinese
think you became
Asian
a
egg.
little bit of a convert though last time, no?
Oh, the mapo tofu.
Yeah.
Oh, the tofu he sent out last time was delicious. I've also had the tofu and the black bean sauce
Oh yes.
here, and that was delicious when
But
I dined with some vegetarians.
Tofu is the thing about texture and everything. I think that we do a great job with someone that's gluten free. Or we don't flour it. We put cornstarch on there, makes extra crispy.
When
so-
you're an old guy and your teeth are questionable, man, I'm telling you, tofu, fantastic, and it all depends on the sauce. I mean, that's a lot of this.
right,
And-
right.
And I'm chowing down on that now. Delicious sauce, beautiful. You have that with a little rice, and you don't even miss the meat. Now, meanwhile, we've got
Right.
the first bite I took tonight was in honor of Val, who is a little bit under the weather today. She's at home in bed. I don't know if she's watching, but she loves dumplings. She loves your dumplings. And I might have to bring home a box for her for later on while she is nursing her cold. But this is just the basic steamed dumplings.
These are pork dumplings.
Pork
steamed.
dumplings.
Yep. Home recipe for 60 years with our dumpling sauce. Just a good balance of ginger, pork, flavor, garlic. No garlic, but just soy. Yes.
Yeah.
All great flavor. And we're gonna send you home with some Chinese penicillin. It's
Okay.
not matzo ball
Oh,
soup,
nice.
but we'll send it for
Wonton
for
soup.
There you go.
Just-
Wonton
just
soup.
hold the carrots. I think she's in the system here from the past because she used to order out all the time. We're just across the other side of the tunnel.
That's right.
And she is in the delivery system as no
No
carrots,
carrots.
no oranges.
That's right.
And so, we'll send you home. Send me home with some of that beautiful Chinese penicillin. It's funny. You were talking about tofu. You like the tofu, but we would.
In my lifetime, though, Michael, I mean, there were a lot of things you thought you would never like that you ended up, enjoying. Blue cheese was one. My father was a big cheese freak. He used to eat all of the strangest, smelliest cheeses, and I would think, my God, Dad, how the hell could you? How are you not puking after this? And he would eat like Liederkranz and all of these weird cheeses, and you thought you would never like it, and then I ended up liking it. And the same thing is true of tofu. I mean, if it's treated right, especially the way Chinese restaurants do the adaptation with the mapo tofu, absolutely phenomenal.
Well, you hit on something last month when we were getting into the whole matzo ball competition, and you came up with I think it's a somewhat valid observation that matzo balls are basically a blank canvas, and they don't
Zero.
taste like
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
It depends on what you surround it with, and then tofu is kind of similar in that it's what you surround it with, how you prepare it. Does it have a crunch? And then you even coined, I think you should copyright this.
What, Jufu?
Jufu, that tofu.
You know what's weird about
is
Alex,
the
though?
matzo
Alex
balls are
he's
like,
well versed in Jewish slang.
yeah, we were talking before
Is
the
that
show.
just a basic necessity of owning a Chinese restaurant?
Yeah.
It is, and it comes. I was told I was.
Do you
once-
put that on the menu? I mean,
I
if
was
you're a
told-
schlepper, you'll love this.
Yep, I was told I made a very good potato alaka.
A lot.
There you go.
We cater one time, and we cater Chinese, but we cater outside of Chinese food. having a basic culinary background, I made latkes for the woman, and she goes to me, she goes, "You're an honorary Jew. Thank you so much."
Yes.
And we
Well-
have such a amazing Jewish clientele. My grandfather was in Emerald Hills for 25 years.
Mhm.
Some of those are not friends anymore; they're family. They come celebrate birthdays with us, and we have Passover with them, and we've learned the lingo.
Yeah, no, it's great because you were talking about the I guess some of the words are like schmaltz is fat. Use chicken fat to make flavor, and then schlepping. You got to schlep to the
Schlepping,
store.
Like, there's nothing like a nice nosh.
There's a
But is
nosh.
that not the highest honor to be bestowed on a Chinese restaurant that the
Absolutely.
Jews are flocking here like there's no tomorrow? I mean,
Absolutely.
I said
And
this.
we have a lot of now. I found out we have a lot of, and I'm learning about the Jewish culture. There's a lot of Reform Jews.
Yes.
Right.
That goes the pork in the Chinese restaurant's been blessed somewhere.
Right.
And,
Well, it's
and
funny.
There's a rabbi somewhere that signs off on it.
It's,
Yeah.
right.
it's Rabbi Cheeseburger. He worked
That's
at my camp. It was like every time
Rabbi Philip Book. He
you
would
could throw
always
a little
approve
bacon
this,
on
yeah.
it too if you threw him an extra. No, I mean it's funny. I consider myself culturally Jewish. I love
Right.
the traditions, but I don't observe all the laws of
Right.
the dietary laws and kashrut and being kosher. But it's funny because I was talking to the other day, somebody was just saying like it's in my neighborhood in Brooklyn. It was kind of like prescribed by law is that Friday night was you go to temple synagogue for the Sabbath, and then all day Saturday was the Sabbath. But Sunday night you had to go to the local Chinese restaurant, and all the spare ribs and the pork and the wonton soup was blessed. You got a special dispensation to eat it.
I think, but you forgot. Did you on Sunday morning? Did you have your bagels with lox? and
Absolutely.
Oh,
schmear?
Yeah.
Gotta
Your
have that.
schmear.
Absolutely, it
Good.
was.
And some chicken fried rice.
There you go.
I have to say, normally the whole fish concept is not my thing. That is unbelievable. That is absolutely great.
And this was like a sweet and
Yeah.
sour sauce,
That's
right?
sweet and sour sauce, yes.
Yeah.
And Chinese generally, you want to eat everything whole. That's why you have whole duck, whole
Yeah.
chicken. You go to New York, Chinatown, you see everything
Yeah,
hanging
hanging,
there.
yep.
It's like you see
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Because
Can't-
you know where you get all the
Oh, great.
flavors from
Wow.
the bones and the best
Absolutely.
part of a fish. And Defoe, I hope I don't
there you
gross
go.
him
Gross.
bad.
No,
There
it's
you
okay.
go.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna
once
do-
he starts attacking,
I'm
it's
gonna
over,
rip off
yeah.
the
Oh, my
head.
God.
I'm gonna rip off the head. Some people do the eyes, but it's the sweet cheeks that have
Every
the best
animal, the tender part of any animal is always the cheek. Beef
Interesting.
cheeks,
Interesting.
Oh,
Beef
yeah.
kama,
cheek. Yeah.
hamachi kama, salmon kama. It's always the cheekies.
I'm in there now. That's
If it's
nicely
got
fried.
dimples, you're good.
Yeah, I'm going in. Yeah, now I got the cheeks. I was going
That
a
is
little
great.
bit
That is absolutely
towards
great.
the cornea there, but wow, this is good. And you got the good crunch around the sides. Some people get intimidated by the whole fish, but you still do the fillets if people want. Or
We do it fillets, and if you're intimidated, we'll take it off the bone. For
Now,
you,
is that in general a dish for two, or one guy? Could Mayo man? In the
Mayo,
past, he
listen.
might have been able to finish it, but
I mean,
now with
I
his
wear,
delicate bites and all of that.
I'm wearing an extra large. Too, so, I mean, for me, I could kill the entire thing. No
Wow.
problem.
Yeah.
So that depends. If you get this, some light fried rice and another eggplant dish, and it's two great flavors of a light fried rice, a sweetness of the fish, and some salty or savory of the eggplant. I think you got yourself a great meal.
Michael, have we unlocked the secret here? I mean, Let's Eat South Florida, 200,000 strong. They've been asking this
Yes.
question forever.
Congratulations.
Where can I find the best
Thank you.
Chinese food in town?
Oh,
This
yeah,
has
it's
to
easy.
rank up there. I mean, I don't know what could eclipse it. I know a lot of people talk about a couple of different places. Everybody's got their favorites, but wow,
Everyone's got their favorites, and it's
This
almost
is
like
amazing.
pizza. You've got everyone's got their favorite pizza place, sushi
Yeah.
place, and we're honored that we are up there with the favorite Chinese restaurants. And not to knock any other Chinese restaurants because it's AAPI month. We support everyone, but we do have, I believe, a little cut above the rest
Ooh,
of
man.
flavor and presentation, tablecloth, and service. So
mind-blowing
and
job by you.
again, it's hard to believe that you just resumed this back in it was March, right? Like March 17th,
It's been 2
around that.
months.
2
Oh,
months.
wow.
And does it seem like 2 years, 2 decades?
How
decades,
anxious
sir,
were you to
decades.
dive into this? Alex?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've talked about this before on the show, but and the whole story. But how anxious were you to, go ahead and say, okay, I want to do it? Because it's a big commitment.
It is a big commitment, and it took me a while to commit to it. It was a lot of thinking on the back end, family and my business partners and everything. So
A
it's
lot
a
of
lot
arm
of commitment.
twisting too,
A lot of arm twisting,
including by me, because I just thought it was a natural fit, and it's
Right.
so beloved. It's such an institution, the neighborhood and the entire region, because you've been all over the place, and that Juan's name carries.
and that's I
big-
just before you came in, I met a couple, and it's like he looks at me and goes, I knew your great grandfather. I go, you mean my grandfather? He goes, no, I knew your great grandfather, and I'm like, oh my god, and he knew my great grandfather. It's just amazing, mind blowing that people, I'm meeting Again, I don't have any. I'm lucky enough to have known my great grandparents.
Mhm.
So to hear them, that they knew them, hear some stories, it's just truly a blessing.
Now, you were asking about best in Chinese restaurants. It's like pizza. It's very subjective. It's what you grew up with. It's what region, blah, blah, blah. But I think on the group, and it's become a running joke when people ask for, authentic New York Chinese, which there's a certain style of restaurant in New York that a lot of people, including myself in Brooklyn, grew up with, which is like this one, where you have a nice atmosphere, you have white linen tablecloths, you have the big bowl of crunchy dry noodles that show up at the table along with the hot mustard and the duck sauce right away. And then you can have a meal of either like American Chinese classics, like the
Egg foo young,
egg foo young,
shrimp lobster sauce.
exactly.
I don't remember anything like this at Wo Hops, though. It's classic. No, I really don't. I mean, this is really upscale and remarkable.
But it's also nice that, like you said, I mentioned Wo Hop. Wo Hop, I think, was also just mentioned that as one of the staple restaurants in New York
Yeah,
City.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
is.
everybody says, okay,
Right.
you remember Wo Hops, but this is a whole different presentation and really, really incredible.
But we're also, one of my goals is really try to get, I think COVID threw a wrench in this, to try to get people to do this again. Dine, sit, have a
Mhm.
conversation,
Right.
soup, main course. We don't have any ice cream anymore, which a lot of people, I'm being
I need that
for.
scoop of vanilla with that little ice.
See,
you know,
see,
with the
you know,
pistachio.
in there,
Or
and
the
the pistachio.
It's
See?
Oh, the
BYOP.
pistachio, yeah,
We went
yeah.
over this last time. BYOP. Bring your own
Your own ice
pistachio
cream.
ice
I
cream.
like that. I would put that on the
And it
door.
was a perfect
I'll
scoop
put that on
too.
the
I don't
door.
know.
Yeah,
right.
It wasn't
Right.
a normal
BY
size. It was sort of in between.
BYOP, and then if you know, you
In a
know.
silver dish, a little
IYK.
silver dish. Looked like a trophy presentation.
Right,
It was
exactly.
great.
So
And then a fortune cookie.
I
of
would love
course,
for people to actually come back and dine as a family. Get back to the table.
This would be the place. Wow.
Yeah, you can do takeout. That's great. And our prices are to the point where I think you can do takeout twice or 3 times a week. But we want you to basically be able to come here and actually dine as a family.
Well, and talking about family, and you brought up, we saw your mom when we walked in. You brought up your aunt. You brought up your uncle.
Yep.
And last time I asked you, how much pressure did you feel from them? How much pressure do you feel to keep what they do? And then you have a classically trained background. So like this, you want to do elevated things as well. You want to bring a little bit of different Chinese flavors, because people forget it's not just, there's like 4 or 5 Cantonese. There's so many different kinds of Chinese as well that we just don't realize that you are adept at bringing to the table.
Right.
How have you been navigating the family aspect? You want to see our families, your family, because I know they're contributing, they're doing a great job. Has it been seamless? How has it been to work with the family on a day-to-day basis when they all have run restaurants before? They all have great knowledge. So you want to take it, but you also have run a restaurant yourself, and you've also been involved in the business yourself.
First and foremost, we're still having Thanksgiving this year.
Yes, so you still are
That's
talking.
the good news.
It's early.
I was waiting for Mayo to be the negative Nelly.
Just realism.
You have like 5 more months, man. 6 more months.
Oh man.
It's an awesome blend when we all understand what our strengths, our weaknesses are. And it takes us a while to get there, but once we get there, we understand that one's good in finance, one's good in operations,
Nice.
one's not good on TV,
Try this.
and some is good on TV. And actually, I found that we have some very good friends. Michael Lin, who
My buddy. Yep.
and he actually he has a family business
In Jamaica.
in Jamaica, and there's actually now I found out there's studies, business studies, Harvard studies, and books written on family business.
Yeah.
Which I'm reading into, and
Interesting.
it's a thing. Family business is a thing.
Well, in the restaurant world, hospitality world, especially because sometimes by necessity, when first wave of immigration,
Right.
and then everybody in the family is pitching in and making sure it goes. And then what we've seen now is a drift where usually second, third generations, the restaurateurs are telling their kids, don't get into this business.
Correct.
Kind of like
Yeah.
me and Lefo with the media and sports
Journalism,
journalism.
Yeah, my dad forbid me. I remember long.
Oh, really?
My grandmother brought me
That's
into.
it? No.
My grandmother brought me in the restaurant. Then I still remember my father walking up to my grandmother going, "Why are you bringing him here?
Oh, wow.
I don't want him to bring him."
Oh, wow.
Get out of here, kid.
Go to the track. Go to the casino.
Right. Why don't you try to double down? No. No, I learned my first culinary from actually Chef Michael Moran at FIU.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and I learned my basics all from him. It wasn't until later that my dad taught me how to start doing some sweet and
Some
sour.
wok cooking and
Yeah.
things like that, which is a real skill and an art
Oh yeah,
form
it's
in
not, it's not
itself.
just a frying pan. Yeah, absolutely, and not one that you can do in an average kitchen at home either. You know?
Yes.
You got to get like one of those tabletop burners and go on your patio and have your neighbors go, what's over there? You know, smoke in our neighborhood.
It's
Our friend, Mr. Vizolaro Food and Wine Festival himself, Philip Morrow, is calling Alex the real mayor of Fort Lauderdale. This is where all the big meetings happen.
yeah, you know what?
It's
Every
Christy
time I
is
come
with
in here,
wands.
I see the bigwigs, developers, lobbyists, and yeah. So you see a lot of the the downtown crowd down
It's
here.
an honor to serve the actual other industry leaders that come in. We talked about
Yeah.
them last time and everything. So,
Well, and what's really cool, we were talking about, it's a good Chinese restaurant when the Jews find it and they love it.
You
I've
want to see
learned,
some Asians,
I was going to
and you
say
want to see
Asian
some
Jews,
Jews.
but
And
I've
they're
also-
searching the desert for the Jews. And
I've also learned doing the show. It's a restaurant when other restaurateurs
Yes.
go there, and every
Yes.
time it's funny because we've been doing our shows. It's been a month, and we always talk about the other places we go. And every restaurateur is like, "Yeah, I was at Juan's last week. I was there the other week. I love Alex." It's
I
like,
bumped into Chef Dean James Max, who's like
A
the
legend, an
Godfather,
icon, yeah.
legendary, and he was here at the bar picking up some to-go food last time I came in, and so that must be gratifying too to have all your
very much.
yeah.
And it's very nice to see us all get together because we're all trying to serve the same crowd and make sure that we keep Fort Lauderdale present.
lobster dish melts in your mouth. How'd you come up with the concept for this?
Well, that's a classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Ginger
Oh,
and
it is.
scallions is a
Yeah, yeah.
classic.
"Oh, nice. Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't
See,
know
we're,
that."
we're graduating you to the
this-
next
I
level.
didn't know that.
This
Yeah, I
is
never
at-
heard that.
When people talk about authentic New
Yeah.
York, when you go into it was New York
really
Noodle Town that had this dish. Not Woe Hop was your kind of drunk slop house where you would get your fried rice. I don't mean to,
That's the kind of
It's a
Chinese I grew up
classic.
with. The
Right.
Chinese I grew up with.
but when you went into some of the other places, well, I mean, there was the higher end places like Shunli Palace, but even New York Noodle Town would do like salt and pepper, soft shell crabs, and they would do the lobster.
Right.
But again, it's classic. Is this Mandarin, Cantonese cooking?
You can get that with a lobster sauce, black bean style, which
Black
is
bean
very
sauce is
saucy.
great.
Yeah.
Or you can do it dry black bean style, which
Wow.
next time I'll get you guys, and that flavor is just through the roof.
Don't
Really?
they do like a spicy? Well, that's more like a chili crab type.
That's
thing.
chili crab, yes,
Yeah.
with a whole
Yeah.
little garlic,
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that's more for
But
crab. You
this
want
is-
that? We can do that too.
Okay, I'm gonna sing some critical praise.
You need to. Did you get?
No,
a
I
piece of
got.
it?
I
No.
already dug
Yeah,
out
Alex
part
has
of
been
his.
great.
It was a
I
little
might
bit
need
of
some more
the.
on rice
the
'cause this
tail.
eggplant is
I got the
addicting, yeah.
tail end
Go
of the
for it.
tail, and
Thank you.
I'm more of a
Very
s-
family style, by the way.
Oh yeah,
too.
and
Yeah.
that's the other thing you were
Yeah.
talking about. Oh, can you eat this space? So everything here, it's best to just order a whole,
Yeah, just get a bunch
boatload of
stuff.
food and share everything, and then what you don't finish, you just box it up and you have leftovers
Chinese.
and lunch.
And it's still good, and it's still too good 2 days later.
Yeah, it's great 2 days later. It
Is there
actually
anything
acquires
better than
flavor.
seeing Chinese food
Yeah.
in your
Yeah, it's
fridge
the
when
best
you
thing.
when you wake up for breakfast?
No, that is the
Thinking,
best.
eggs today?
Sometimes not even breakfast. Sometimes 3 in the morning when I wake up. Nature calls. I say, oh, maybe I'll have a little nosh. I'm a fresser.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
I'll be honest. The other one is also, for me, it's Chinese food sometimes gets a little boring. For me, I'll be honest. A cold pizza in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
cold pizza's the best.
Oh yeah. Cold pizza.
I would not recommend putting fried rice on the cold pizza, but sometimes maybe I'll
You never know.
experiment and try.
I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try
Yeah.
that.
No.
Okay, so I'm singing praise about the lobster. I like savory dishes more than the sweet ones. So the sweet and sour has a great profile, good balance, chunks of those
It's well done.
pineapple,
Really is
very well done.
Yeah.
But I'm more of the
Yeah,
ginger scallion crowd, and even that dry
Well,
kind
the
of
dumpling
black
was really
bean.
nice too.
But this lobster dish, outstanding. And again, with the lobster dishes, you call 24 hours in advance, or because you got to
24
go
or
out.
48 hour.
Okay,
I gotta go diving.
so you just let them know what you want here. I mean, you have the Peking duck available all the time,
Oh,
or is
you
that
do?
also with notice?
Oh, you
Yes,
do?
no, that's all. Yep.
Oh,
we,
that's
we
interesting.
went to Orlando, and here we go. Schlepped the new
a
oven.
schlep.
Schlepped all the way up there.
Really?
They
Wow.
schlepped a new oven.
Well, no
And-
one no one down here had a Peking duck oven, so I had to go to
It's a
Orlando.
specific oven for the Peking
Oh,
duck.
yeah.
Barbecue, yep.
Explain,
But
you
I'm
you
saying
got to
it's
get
called
that
a Peking duck oven.
that
It's like-
layer in between the skin and the fat. It has to like render or dry out. How's that?
First, you have to pump the duck, so literally you're blowing this duck full of air, and what it does is separates the skin from the meat, and then it gives it the chance for when you roast it, the fat to melt off. That's why you get the crispy
Ooh.
skin.
Yeah,
All around the
it's
whole thing.
rendering the fat.
Right.
There's a science.
Don't you
there.
have to have
science
them
to it.
hanging in the window though?
Well, certain places have that, but here,
Sir, the floor Florida Health Code,
exactly.
Section 245.
Yeah.
So it's not like Tad's Steakhouse.
No, they're not hanging in the window. Now, there are places like that around, but everybody has their own styles, and
Right.
you do everything in the kitchen in the back, and it's come out. And again, proper service here. So the second, before we got to take our first break, but you mentioned this rice. Some people on Let's Eat, you
That's
show them a
great.
picture of this rice, like it's not dark enough. Where's all
He
the
called it
peas
white
and
fried
things?
rice. He
This
actually
is-
called it.
This has such delicate,
Very nice.
delicious
Yeah.
flavor. Can you explain what style of rice it is?
This is more authentic style because
Mhm.
this. I hate to say this, but this you're testing the chef when you
Mm.
make a fried rice like this because
Wow.
one, why don't you even use black pepper? Because like pizza, how do you know when the pizza oven's clean? Here's a pop quiz. You have to look under the pizza to see if it's all like there's a black
The soot.
soot down there. That's how you know the oven's clean enough. And a Chinese wok, same thing. If you made this fried rice and you look, the eggs aren't too burnt,
Mhm.
the onions are not caramelized, the rice is still white. That's the key to the chef making a good fried rice. It tastes good, it's got flavor, but it's not burnt, and
Mm.
there's not black specks in there. That means
Mm.
his wok is clean. That's why you don't use black pepper either, because
You
also
want people to think
to
that.
think that it looks dirty and everything, right? So this dish is a very nice, delicate dish too, a ginger scallion, lobster, or a fish, but it really is testing. And also, people don't know if they're gluten free, you
Mm.
can get fried rice
Wow,
without soy
wow.
sauce.
I mean, the egg in it looks perfect. I guess it's kind of akin to how French chefs sometimes the test is how you make a classic omelet, and there
Yes.
should be no, browning or
Burnt,
burn
yeah,
marks
yeah,
at all.
Absolutely.
This is very nice. But what do you do when, let's say,
You
one
do
of the
the other-
members of the Let's Eat group come in and they say, or do you have rice that has all the
The
chazarai, to use a Yiddish word, all the stuff, the peas, the carrots, the
And then
pork,
some
the
pork
the
or
The
whatever.
kosher pork.
bean sprout.
The
kosher-
co-
I don't
co-
like bean sprouts in
kosher.
my
No, that's
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
That's the crunch. But yes, that's the yang chow fried rice.
You
Yang
of
chow
all
fried rice.
people
you
should like
do
the
have-
crunch aspect.
Yang chow fried rice doesn't have bean sprouts.
I
but
put the
it has-
noodles.
Oh,
in
there
it.
you
The
go.
Oh,
crunchy
yeah,
noodles
okay.
give me my crunch.
But it's got the shrimp, chicken, and pork
right.
with the peas and
That's-
carrots, onions, and that's in the yang chow fried rice.
That's also known as the special house
Wow.
fried rice, but this is just the classic
Egg and onion.
egg.
Because you
onion.
already got so much protein in this, you don't want to mix it with the whole pork and everything. But again, so that's why it's yang chow. But
Okay.
the egg and onion with this dish, I think, with
Right.
the
And
two
this-
mains is
All I
better.
can say is thank God I'm playing tennis tonight.
I'm going
Otherwise,
to
I would not want to get on the
Tennis
scale
versus
for 2 days.
you don't like pickleball? Everyone switched. Everyone
Everybody's going to
converted.
pick a ball. I don't get it. I really don't. We've had this argument before. He thinks I'm an elitist.
He's
but,
very opposed.
No, it's not that. It's just I actually was at a park the other day, and there are 2 tennis courts there. Both of them are wide open, and there's 60 people waiting to play pickleball on the 14 courts that they had. Just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. The ball doesn't bounce. It's like why not just get a bocce ball out there? But I do believe this though. Anything that people are doing to get their body moving is good.
Amen.
So
for
I
them.
do
Amen.
not condemn the game in any way, shape, or form. I'm glad people are doing.
Actually, speaking of, we'll talk about health.
Are you a
They-
pickleball guy?
Excuse me, sir.
You can make pickleball in
Do you-
all
Could be. I mean,
shapes
yeah,
and
yeah.
sizes and ages.
Isn't that where you sit and start paddling the ball this way? Is that what that pickleball is? Yeah, no.
But you could play that game in a
Bowling.
chair.
Oh,
mean,
there you
that's
go.
the funny
Bowling with the bumpers out.
Bumpers,
That's
yeah.
what I like. To
Right in
do.
your throat. Oof. No, later actually, you have a whole entire clinic named after you.
Yes, I do. So, and I do give medical advice, even though I'm not a doctor. Don't take the advice. I am
You sound
not
like someone-
liable
you
for
sound like
any
you sound like
advice.
someone that was on the news recently.
Nah.
No,
Exactly.
but I have some really interesting news. After
Okay.
we wanna take a
Oh,
break.
that's a good tease. Look at this. He's a
Look at
natural.
him.
He's
He's
getting
better than
used to the
us.
whole
He's
broadcasting
getting us
thing.
back on track. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Let's take the
Only
first,
Tony Sagrano. This guy's a professional.
let's take our first break, and we'll come back with more from Juan's in Fort Lauderdale with
Delicious. Wow.
Chef Alex after these words.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Wan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Wan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and that's Chef Alex. That's Jeff T for the Forest. We got Mike Lubie Lubitz on the soundboard off camera today. And while we were away on our break, you brought us another little delicacy that's part of the staff meal. It's kind of like a Cantonese meatball, right? Shanghai meatball.
It doesn't. It's not plated great because it's part of our staff meal. So we just nosh on it. But it's actually it's lion head meatball, very traditional Shanghainese dish. Again, you got to call it in advance to make it. But our chefs do a great job with making it, because we're hosting a graduation party tomorrow for a high school graduate, because you're a friend of ours. So they requested this dish. So yeah.
And it's made from pork, but it tastes like a meatball, except instead of having Italian tomato sauce, it's got aromatics, and I can't even place the herbs and things in there.
A little 5-spice, a little crunch from a wire chestnut. It's actually interesting. Most Chinese delicacies have no flavor. Shark fin soup, bird's nest, all those. Some are questionable, whatever. But tofu. They have tofu. There you go. Delicacy. Yes.
Yeah, it's all about the sauce.
It's all about the sauce
and the treatment. It's all about the treatment. Yeah.
And that tests the chefs. How can they get the sauce to penetrate the flavor, to penetrate into the dish, and to keep it nice and light? So this is actually steamed, fried, stewed. I mean, it's not like just a quick thing. Almost like the Italians. You have to fry it, stew it.
There's a whole technique that can make the most tender and proper meatball, and ask Nona. But same thing here.
Have you watched that movie, by the way?
Nona's, I've heard good things about it. Our friend Mark Falsetto had a watch party where Vince Vaughn chimed in, I guess by Skype or something the other night. Yeah, but What,
Great.
did you watch it? It's
I
good.
did.
All
Very
right,
nice.
it's on
Very
my
well done.
list.
Yes.
I got a high on my
Netflix.
list.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good on Netflix.
So again, this
That's not a place in New Jersey. Is that the deal?
no news.
No,
No
it
news.
was in New York, I think. Actually,
York?
I think in Brooklyn, actually.
Might be. All right.
Okay.
We'll see. But like you said, certain dishes you come in any day, you have the menu, you get it right away. But you will accommodate requests, special requests. So if you want a lobster with ginger scallion sauce, or if you want these lion's head dish, you just can call it up, or is that just for banquets and special
Nope.
events only?
Give
Okay.
us about 48 hours, and we'll go diving and schlepping and the whole. Gotta get it when I can.
No, I love it.
And yeah, we'll get it for you. Yep.
Yeah, that's the essence of the hospitality business. I also have to say today, May 21st, I did not realize this until somebody sent in a post this morning on Let's Eat South Florida. Today is National Waitstaff Appreciation Day.
Oh,
No
nice,
way.
man. We should
So-
applaud these people in
Yeah,
South Florida. They do a great job.
And
With the kvetching, another Jewish slang word
Oh, yeah.
that goes on. I mean, it's not easy to deal with everybody.
Schwitzing, right?
Yeah.
schwitzing
Schwitzing
is not plotzing, which is not.
They're not schwitzing. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, but
We're gonna have we're having your monthly Yiddish
I
lesson.
love
Yes.
speaking Yiddish. It's a dying
I feel like
language.
I'm at a bar mitzvah. Here.
No.
It's unbelievable.
Well, and the
And
bar
it could be the
mitzvahs,
catering
they're
for a bar
talking
mitzvah, yeah.
Hebrew, but the Yiddish is from the old country.
It's very
It's
descriptive,
it's a dying language, which is why I love to still use words all the time, because my mother and father, they didn't speak it, but their parents did.
Yep.
And
My
they,
grandma
like
did,
me, would pick up some words and have some expression. Oy vey is mir, or
Yep,
gewalt.
yep.
But this, I've lost track of my thoughts. You know why? Because
This would be
Because you're
fantastic.
eating
'Cause I'm-
like high
So
on
let
the
me
hog.
ask. So,
Yeah.
so you guys were doing. You do what's on the menu. You play with it. You try to be creative.
Right.
What are some of the things we're getting into summer? The fish dishes. What are some of the things that you may consider bringing on?
Well,
Bring into the fray.
I think you asked me about the whole family and dynamic and everything. I think right now the goal is to make sure that the new wait staff and the kitchen staff
Get everything
all
knocked in.
get everything what we have, our basics locked and loaded. We have some things that are in the pipeline which we won't discuss that we might do later
Nice.
in summer, since it's gonna be a little slower. We have some time, but now once we have everything locked and loaded, everything's running smoothly, the oil machine's oiled,
Yeah.
then we can start playing a little bit.
and you jogged my memory. You talked about wait staff, getting them trained.
Yes.
National Wait Staff Appreciation Day.
That's where you're.
Every day you should tip your servers well, but today especially well.
There you go.
And let's not also forget all the people in the back of the house, because they are really kind of the forgotten foot soldiers of the hospitality business. The dishwashers, the line cooks, the prep guys. There's no way to tip them, but there is a way to keep them employed, which is keep coming to the restaurants, especially during the summer months, and order lots of food, because the more that food that you order, the more it helps everybody. It's a rising tide that lifts all boats. And what do you like? And you were a back of the house guy. You're chef, and
And summers are brutal in South Florida. If you work
Yeah.
in a kitchen, I mean, I used to work at the Lowe's, and the Lowe's, that pool
Hot.
kitchen, you had one person that usually passed out, and they got the AC in there, the fans.
Oh,
and-
okay.
Oh,
And I got to tell you, it's it doesn't. You look at a restaurant, and that's the epiphany of teamwork. Your first person, from your hostess greeting you to the dishwasher throwing away the trash, it has to all work together, and we wouldn't be anything without
I
each and every
didn't
one of them.
realize you worked at Lowe's, and condolences on the loss of your friend. Was it Freddie?
Chef Frederick, yep.
yeah.
His memorial service, actually, I believe, is going to be next Saturday.
Oh, gosh,
actually.
Okay.
Yep,
And
we'll
did
post
you
something
know
up.
Joe Beja when he worked there? He was at Gulfstream Park now as their executive director of hospitality. But Joe spent some time at the Lowe's and also knew Chef
A little bit.
Freddie.
A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Chef
So,
Frederick was great. So
yeah, and that's a tremendous loss after.
he's having a
This was-
celebration of life, and his wife is playing one at the Lowe's, I believe, next Saturday afternoon. So I'll post something up on
All good.
Facebook and everything.
So let's talk about, you had some health news to share, or health tidbits, or what's
Yes.
we're up to the Mayo Clinic portion.
The Mayo Clinic portion, yes. I was reading NPR, and people who were pre-diabetic like myself,
or
you
full
know-
blown like me, Mr. Ozempic. Oh, sorry.
little plug there. That's how you guys refer.
Well, I have to dance, but it's like, Ozempic.
Yeah, I hope you don't get in one of those ads. I
The
really would
Charlie
hate to
ad?
despise you every
I'm
time I came
auditioning.
on.
I could do a little shimmy, like I'm gonna have a string bean.
right. No, but it's awesome because we eat staple. I mean, our staple is white rice, and for the Latin community and for the Italian community, it's staple is white pasta,
Yep.
Then your doctor's always, oh, you can't eat that; it's a spike of sugar. But I guess there's a study now that shows if you refrigerate and cool down the rice, it's part of the that resistance starch now.
So it builds up a
Wow.
like shell, so it doesn't get metabolized by the body and spike your blood sugar. And for those who are,
Dr. Mayo here,
Like
thank
a
you so much.
scientist, this
Yeah, I
guy,
know, right?
yeah,
No, just
unbelievable.
roll it
I
off
can
the tongue
fake
there.
my way through anything.
You called him out, Alex. I didn't have to. That's good.
The lab coat's back here. Doctor, your stethoscope fell. I'm so sorry. Your
He
stethoscope
has
fell.
no idea what he's saying. It's like he's describing what happened in a hockey game last
I've
night.
studied these things because I am the epitome of the intersection of food and nutrition and being health minded.
You were mostly interested in the food
Right.
for a long time.
But
Where did you U-turn? Was there a U-turn on one of those intersections?
I mean, he starts out in the morning at Skyline Chili. He's telling you he's the
then-
essence of health.
and then I go to Alinea for $1,000 a head meal, which was not all that in a bag of chips. But so the thing is, for those who are predisposed or have the diabetes or pre-diabetes, you're always want to have
Yeah.
spikes in blood sugar. For the longest time, the conventional wisdom was complex carbohydrates like bran
Multigrain. Yeah.
and
Whole
the
grain.
whole wheat breads and the stuff that always tastes like sawdust
Yeah.
and doesn't taste good, that those are the good ones, and it doesn't raise your blood sugar and it's better for your overall health. And that what's called the simple carbs, which
You
is
turn into sugar.
pasta, white rice,
Yep.
white
bread.
bread,
Yep.
that those are the real evildoers. But like you said, this research shows that if you just throw your rice, let it cool off, throw it in the fridge, and take your
But you can then
spaghetti.
heat it again. It's
you
just
can heat it again
it
slightly.
can't be.
Just,
It
just
can't hit a
ge-
certain temperature.
just
What they're
gently hit.
telling us is something I've known for decades, Alex, which is there's nothing better than waking up in the morning and having a cold box of lo mein, and you just shovel those noodles.
5,000 years of Chinese history. Chinese cooking. Not wrong. Okay. We make fried rice with day-old rice. It's very hard to make with fresh rice. You gotta
Yeah.
cool it over, and the next day you make it.
Okay.
So hey, all my ancestors, hey,
Well,
they had something going on there.
And it's something so it's one more reason where you could order some dishes and just take it home, put it in the
Bingo.
fridge, and then
It's
it
even
can
healthier.
actually be not as harmful to your health as it otherwise could be. So
Absolutely.
good little notes there.
Everything in moderation. You
That's
learned
it.
That's it. That's
Thank
really
you.
it.
And a little bit of tennis.
You got to keep the body moving. I mean, that really is the essence of
Actually,
having longevity.
Speaking of continue on the Dr. Mayo,
You got to get the pickleball.
Yeah.
on.
You got and then
If
my
necessary.
I was privileged to be at FIU's graduation for the new medical school.
Oh, good.
And I
Nice.
heard Dr. Werheim give some Herbie news, and he goes, something, forget the exercise, forget the diet. He goes, the most important thing is actually staying hydrated.
Okay,
and he
that
goes,
could be. Yeah.
Order is the key.
Yes, a guy has to drink half our weight in ounces, where a female has to drink a third of their weight in ounces
Right.
every day. And he goes, that'll guarantee you good health.
It's tough to do, though. I
Guarantee you
mean,
good health.
it's hard to get. I mean, they
Okay.
talk about drinking a
never drink
gallon of
enough
water
water.
a day, and
Right.
I do it.
I never drink that much water.
yeah.
I pee 4 times a night, but I do it.
Now, if you
if you-
spike the water with, I love this Mayo.
It doesn't count if you spike it with vodka.
No, not vodka, but some of these
Wipes
Yeah,
supplements.
the
out the
flavor
benefits.
things. Yeah.
Does that ruin the effect of drinking a lot of water? Because I love those flavorings that they have. They keep juicing the price at Publix, and every now and then they have a 2-for-1, so I go in and buy like 10 of them. But
Is that the
does
sports
does
drinks?
that ruin the whole effect of
Yes,
drinking a lot
I
of
think
water?
sugar or even
no
fake
sugar, it's
sugars,
They're no
artificial,
sugar.
yeah.
They're look.
artificial sugar, and again, this is an unproven
It's better
claim
than
by
not
Dr.
doing it.
Mayo.
Right, Doc,
I
yes.
think in the long run, a lot of studies have found that artificial sugars, the
Probably worse for you.
aspartame,
They're not great.
the sucralose, Splendas, and back in the day, the saccharin, they all have things that aren't so
Yeah.
great. I'm a big proponent of natural stuff and like pure cane sugar and
Just
not
do
the
less of
corn
it.
syrup.
Just do less.
But
of it.
again, I am not a doctor. Although these days I
No,
could be
you're not.
appointed the
You're not
head of the
exactly
Health and
The
Human
poster
Services.
child for Men's Health magazine either. I mean,
I'm getting that. I'm better.
Yes, that's
Hey,
all
oh,
it's
you
good.
do.
good.
You
You
started.
gotta try.
You're trending in the right
Time
direction.
sexiest man of the year right here.
All right, let's take our second break, and then we'll come back with more fun and food at Juan's in
Great
Fort
stuff
Lauderdale.
all the way through.
We're
Wow.
having a good time. And again, they are open every day but Tuesday. They're open for lunch from 11:30 to 2:30. Then they take a little break and then reopen 3:30, 4 o'clock for dinner. 4 o'clock for dinner. And it's a great place to come.
Come on in.
Come
people.
on in.
You're
This
place is
missing
fantastic.
out. Wow.
All right, we'll be back. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First class dining, top flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boys Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boys has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's Fat. All right, we're back at Juan's with Chef Proprietor Alex. We've got Defo here. And speaking of Fat Boys Barbecue. We're going to be there just down the road here in
Yeah.
Federal Highway at their latest location. I believe that's the 706 South Federal Highway
Right through the
in
tunnel,
Fort,
right?
just south
Yes,
of the tunnel.
right after the tunnel.
Right, conveniently
On the east
located
side.
50 yards from my new house. So it's a little bit
Yeah, keep
dangerous.
it close to home. Yeah.
Along with Primo Liquors right next door. Love the wines there. Was texting with Kaushal today. I think we might get a show going there.
That'd be
Oh,
fun.
nice.
One of these months. He says bring in some food from a local restaurant. So we might have to do
Yeah, change. Bring different sponsors. Yeah, that'd be
and
great.
wine pairing lunch
Yeah, that'd be
box over
That's
there.
actually something that we're thinking of with Sidewalk over there.
Oh, Sidewalk
talking.
Bottle Shop,
Whoops.
David Lopez.
Oops.
Oh, yep, yeah,
Oop,
we
oop.
know. That's okay. That goes. So yeah, we'll be, and Jarrell, along with our friend Mark Falsetto, were spotted over the weekend at the National Restaurant Show,
show.
in Chicago. Do you ever go to that?
I
Alex?
do. I went to the one in New York, and I mean FIU, and a lot of my friends from all around do that show, and it's a great chance to everyone get together and
Mhm.
explore different ideas, what's going on, take the pulse, you know.
Networking, collaboration,
Absolutely.
probably a little drinking. I don't
A
know.
little eating.
Tad bit.
Yeah, and yeah, a
Great-
little
great
eating.
city.
Those guys don't eat.
Great.
How much do you? Because you guys were just, and I love when we go to break. Like everyone talks about the restaurants they're thinking about going, wanting to go. How much? And we, whenever the restaurateurs talk about R&D, they laugh, but it is to me R&D. Like I think it's really cool that you guys do try other places, and you are. This is interesting. That's interesting. Like how often are you doing that? Like how much do you take away when you go to other places? And I know you don't want to copy whatever, but still, you know.
Oh, I
like-
used to do a lot more, but now it's my wife said to me the other day, he goes, I think I saw you for 2 hours this week, and I'm
Mhm.
like, yes, you know, because we have opposite schedules. So with this now, it's more full time. But again, once the team gets together,
yeah.
our families get together, and so not just R&D, it's also to support locals around the area. They come to us, we go to them. It's just just to give support as well.
But when you talk about like inspiration, all right. So you know
Yes,
the difference
yes.
between outright ripoff and inspiration. About 500 miles. So that's a joke I just came up with. I could
Wonderful.
do this.
I don't know
for a
about
living.
the
Yeah,
miles.
thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
That joke. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're in close proximity with something that's somebody that's doing something a little different, you can't just put that menu item on the next day.
Right.
But you do go to different cities to see different trends.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
stuff.
And also, the bad thing is to scroll through, Facebook, Instagram, go look on Let's Eat South Florida. I mean, you see really, it gives you a glimpse of the entire, not just Broward, Dade, Palm Beach, sometimes Keys, and
Yeah, Treasure
see,
Coast. Yeah.
yeah, see what people are doing out there, and it's great to see that we're getting a lot more small mom and pop.
Yeah.
That people are going to more. Someone like reviews, no offense,
Mhm.
Season 52, or like, I'm like, dude, that's
Actually, Seasons 52 does a good job.
They
It's
do.
more of Eddie V's that gets me rolling my eyes because they build up. They've heard this before if you're a regular watcher of the show. You bill yourself as a prime seafood. They lead with seafood, prime steak and seafood, and you're on Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida. You go on the menu and you go inside there in January and say, oh, can I have some stone crabs? Oh, we don't carry stone crabs. Oh, can I get some snapper or
Look at his
some
face.
Key West pink shrimp? No, we don't have those. Because it's Darden, they have this menu
Like a
that
vendor,
is
yeah.
like the best seafood that money and airline flights
Yeah.
can buy. Like,
you
you've
can
got
find- you can find
Faroe
them.
Island salmon and South
Right.
African lobster tails and Alaskan halibut and, Northeastern this, but they didn't have anything fresh local. So that's why I get perturbed as a
Right.
critic, and
Right.
the same way is like local places like our friends at Even Keel Fish Shack or
Yep.
even you get the
You-
fish
using local fish.
right off
Right.
the boat.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. I mean that, and it's great to see on the page people are exploring different. I saw the Egyptian restaurant that come up the other day, and
There's an Ethiopian one up in Wilton Manors.
I'm trying to-
Not Wilton Manors, Oakland Park. I've been meaning to get to. It's been
Right.
open about.
But
6
I would
weeks.
have never known about it, except it's great that people are on your website or sharing about that. So it's good. It's
Yes.
awesome.
Well, thanks for recognizing the value of the thing that drives me crazy most of the time.
Well, no, awesome. Yeah, events like like AAPI month. I mean, Temple Street this week is going to be celebrating having their celebration.
Oh, good. I
Right.
forgot.
Oh, you're
to
gonna do the whole
check.
thing.
Well,
Yeah, they're gonna-
Diego.
Yeah,
There,
their
there,
team is
yeah.
they're having they have a new menu with dim sum and
Oh,
bubble tea. And
nice.
they've
Okay.
collaborated with the gal who I'm so sorry I forgot her name that does the macaroons and paper goods. And
Okay.
it's another thing, whole celebration.
Is Jimmy
Polyprouds,
from Aloha Ice Cream going to be around there? Sweet Aloha?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I
All right.
think,
Well,
but I know that Polyprouds would be over there. So
Yeah. And again, AAPI, Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, and they have a nice little celebration right down the block at the place where you used to be found, and Temple Street Eatery still going strong after what, 14 years? How many years is it?
10.
Oh,
Man,
10.
Time flies. You're having fun, but not that fast.
Okay. It seems like it's
10
been
and a
there.
half, I think. 10 and a
Yeah.
half.
Wow, that's
somewhere
amazing.
else,
And again, 2.5 decades here. No, I'm sorry, 2 months. Although it's a tradition that's as
I have that
old
much
as
gray.
me. Yeah, I got a lot of gray. By the way, this beard. Oh, how about those Panthers? What a
Yes,
good game
nice
last night.
performance.
Opening
Let's
game.
go. Let's go.
We got to take one more break.
We do.
Let's do that, and then we'll have a little sports
We'll
talk.
run
and-
over to the Panthers right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
far.
Up at the
Yeah,
Federal.
let's run.
That's it. I got my lucky shirt.
You're right.
Hasn't been washed now since Game 6, and
Was
that's not that right there.
Is that what you?
Well,
I didn't know.
When we talk about
That's
aroma
me.
on the show, is a new
That's the aroma you don't want.
new aspect.
wafting over. But it's the aroma of victory and superstition working. So,
Yeah, there you go.
let's take a final break. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good... Okay, we're back on the Lunchbox. Chef Alex, we're here at Juan's. It's 664 North Federal Highway. You know it, Victoria Park. Same complex as a Winn-Dixie and a bunch of other things. And again,
What do you say we go over to that manscaping place across the street? See if they throw us out of here.
Well, they would want to just pin me down and shave what I call this playoff beard, but it's not really a beard.
The
My
likelihood
daughter,
of either of us coming out of there is
I
zero,
never get.
you know.
I've never been able to grow. I said I'm in solidarity with the Panthers. I'm doing what the NHL players do, and
That's
just
right.
trying to not going to shave until they get knocked out.
Have you changed your socks?
Yes,
And
I've
he's
changed my
showering,
socks and
he's
underwear.
showering,
I'm
he's showering.
showering.
Oh, okay.
Just again, this shirt does not get laundered unless they lose a game.
No.
So,
We're gonna go. We're going all the
well,
way.
you know that
Yep.
they don't have to get bounced from a series.
Now,
This-
have you worn it every day, though? I mean,
I,
No.
what I'm,
you've worn
what-
it every day on a show, so
So
That's
well,
5 days a
you've
week.
noticed that. So the superstition is this: when they keep winning, it doesn't get washed, and I wear it for the games themselves,
okay.
and then the day after the game.
The problem is they're playing every
On
other
the
day.
show.
You get
Yeah.
that, right?
Oh,
They're playing every other
Yeah,
day.
so basically, I'm wearing it all the
Yeah, you
time.
do it every day.
Yeah. Do you wear it to sleep?
No, no.
You never take it off.
And sometimes I give it a little bit
But-
of that.
You're hanging up
the-
outside?
It's clean though. I
The
mean, there's
Fabri-
nothing. There's
Yes,
no.
because-
There's no like.
Why did you get another one?
Because that would
This
be
way you
cheating.
can alternate them.
That would be cheating.
Yeah.
Again, great game last night. Great
Yes.
opening to a
Yes.
series. Again, they swept the Carolina Panthers in the Eastern
years ago.
Conference Finals 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and the trend continues with the game that I don't want to say it was easy, but
And they pretty much dominated the whole thing.
They really did.
Bobrovsky, though, Lubie's man, was sensational
He was
in the early
fantastic.
portions. So he was good. I was only half watching it. I went to the Tipperary pub. They had live music there again last night.
I was at
Sensational,
the
yeah.
D's Sports Bar, which is next to Daniel's Steakhouse, because
Oh,
again,
nice.
walking distance from the
Yeah.
house.
Nice.
Val wasn't
Oh yeah,
feeling great, but
they're only open when there's a game right now.
No, they only open it when Mike just says, I'm going to come out.
I said, I'm coming over. No,
the sports bar is what?
the sports
Otherwise, they're
bar.
closed all the
They
time.
are open during all the Panthers playoff games, but then they are also open. I think this time of year it's about 5 nights. It's like
It's every day
Wednesday
but
through Sunday, and they're going to be
Monday,
closed
Tuesday.
Mondays and Tuesdays in the sports bar
Got it.
unless there is a Panther playoff game. So
Okay,
last
go
night
check that
there
out.
was.
Okay.
It's a higher end sports bar, and I'm doing the double. Like game one, I spent at the sports bar last night, and I like a sports bar where you ask for a wine list, and it's not just like, oh, do you want the red or the white? They have the full line wines available from Daniel's Steakhouse
Oh,
next
wow.
door. So Val and I, we ordered a half bottle of a Grand Cru, Merlot from Saint Emilion, and it was excellent. And
Nice.
having really good red wine with your
with your smash burger.
your smash burger
With your
makes-
wings, yeah.
makes it feel classy. So that
that's
was
nice.
and they have an excellent smash burger there. We had the chicken parm last
Yeah.
night and some Caesar salad. Anyway, that was good. And then Thursday, I'm going to our friend Pat's down at Shenanigans because
Oh,
I
lovely.
need some chicken
That's where
wings.
the real
Yes.
people
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Now, that's fine.
I'm a man of the people
Yeah.
sometimes.
Times.
No, but it's nice. It's nice that have options.
Yep.
To be with every rowdy and everything, and then also sometimes you just want to be chill and have
Yeah.
a little more upscale.
And it's like everything. There's different styles for different
Yeah,
times.
well,
and
and you don't want to eat
different
the same thing all
moods.
the time, and
Right.
that's what Alex was talking about. But so as we're going to be wrapping things up, we talk about summer getting here. Have you noticed difference already?
I mean, you were talking.
The
about,
city is emptied out. It really has.
Yeah,
It's
that
empty now.
and then also you're talking about when you go for your walk at 11 a.m. You're just
Yeah.
like sweating.
It's already hot.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Schmidt
Glass
City.
furnace.
And there's
Schmidt
nobody on the street.
You know
Yeah.
what that
Yeah.
would make that better? Some pistachio ice cream.
BYOP, my friend. BYOP.
Bring your own ice cream.
No, actually, I'm going to talk to some of the guys. Maybe Walter Creamer over there, see if they can.
Oh,
make
we'll-
Oh
um,
yeah.
they're local.
DJ
great.
does a great
DJ's a
job,
great
and he
job.
has some offbeat flavors,
smart.
and
Right.
I think a lot of them I don't know. Does he do an ube ice cream?
He does. He did one for Temple Street, and
Yeah.
and so he's a great guy. Great. He's a chef by trade. So
Yeah, yeah.
we
No, he's
love him.
classically trained.
We've
I
done
mean,
shows over there. I
again,
love 'em.
keeping it local and everything. So
Yeah.
why not?
Well, it's all good. Do you ever see any Panthers in here? Because they do live all around the neighborhood here, and some of them have been going into Daniel's Steakhouse.
I think a lot of them take out. If
Oh,
anything,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like
So-
Messi with our friend
Wicked.
Brian up at Wicked Cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Lionel Messi actually pulls up in his royal blue Argentine
It's like
colored
a Lamborghini
Bentley.
or a Bentley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he's
And
a soccer
gets chicken
player, and nobody
wings.
recognizes him.
Hey, he just goes on his own.
International superstar, but here he's a nondescript schmink.
He loves the wings there.
Uh.
So who knows? Maybe you've got Bobrovsky like secretly just
Yeah,
every night
living out of
ordering.
Juan's
I tell you what, they
soup.
wouldn't go wrong if they celebrated the Stanley Cup championship here. That's for
Sure,
sure.
get the
know.
cup here this week. So delivery and everything is fully cracked now, or
Fully cranking. We're getting onto those third parties eventually, but right now just go to the website or give us a call.
Nice.
okay,
Don't
local
forget-
area like
Yeah,
that.
but why
Local area.
not?
Don't forget we are closed Tuesday. It's amazing how people forget that we're so
Mm.
closed Tuesdays, but we do take that's our Sabbath.
Right. No,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Chinese, they
Yeah,
have
you need
to.
your day
A
off.
lot of Asian restaurants do close
Right.
on Tuesdays. And again, so Wednesday through Monday.
Yep.
It's here.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and we love it. Thank you so much for taking
Thank you for
great
having
care
us
of
again,
us.
Nice,
my
great
friend.
job. Man.
You want to know how
Nice,
sick I
tremendous.
am? I'm back to my old ways, Defo.
Wow.
Pretty much going from here. There's a grand
You're going to a
opening.
pizza place?
No, grand opening celebration tonight. A great chef, Michael Lewis, who
Oh.
was the original founder of Q.
Yeah.
He's opening Ukiah
Right.
down on the river.
Right.
So I got an invite to their. I guess they're having a little
Nice.
bit of
You're
a.
gonna have to
We're
save a
gonna-
little
we're
room
gonna
for
go over
dessert.
there. We're trying to go over there actually to go try out and everything, but they don't open. They don't officially open until I think next Wednesday. So
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
doing some friends and family, and tonight was like a VIP ribbon cutting.
Nice.
The mayor's
Oh.
going to be there.
Oh, you're gonna be there.
You're the mayor. You're the real
Yes,
mayor.
you are the mayor. That's what
I am the
mayor
imaginary mayor, but the real mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Dean Chantel, he doesn't like me too much, but he's going to be there.
But,
Some
hey,
things
but
I
you know
wrote
what?
in the
You,
past.
you have chutzpah, right?
Yeah,
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, wow.
We'll leave with that.
You have a nice.
You sure you didn't go to Hebrew school?
Vernacular.
And you,
Yiddish.
my friend, are a mensch.
You are.
Very
You
nice,
are a
very
mensch.
nice.
All right, that's it. Come on in here. You got to
Yeah,
try
this
it.
place is
It
great.
is
Wow, very
authentic,
impressive.
good Chinese food, whatever style
But you can get
that
elevated
want.
Chinese as well. I like that. I like that
You
you can
get
get all
modern, you can
variations.
get classic Chinese American. You could call in advance and get a lion's head.
And you can get an egg foo young.
You can
Yes.
have a glass of wine and watch the game here too.
All right, full liquor
Yes.
bar. We had those great cocktails last
Nice
time.
setup.
This time we were taking it easy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a late night, sir.
Yeah, I got
Although-
nice things ahead of me.
Although I didn't vote on that one.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow from Fat Boys Barbecue, also downtown Fort Lauderdale on the south side of the New River. Until then, enjoy every eggplant, enjoy every fried rice, string beans, lobster, whole fish, and enjoy every sandwich.